We are 3 months into the year and 3 months of PlayStation Plus offerings, and in today's video, I want to take a look at PlayStation Plus in 2019 so far and give you guys an overall review. Now, I want to cover a couple of things before I get into the games themselves and we go month by month and really assess things, but I want to start doing this series consistently, maybe every 3 months or so, because 2019 is going to be a major year for PlayStation Plus. I'm sure the majority of you guys know, but PlayStation Plus used to offer PlayStation 4, PlayStation Vita, and PlayStation 3 games. Now the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita offerings have been stripped away and all we're getting are the PlayStation 4 games. That means Sony would theoretically have a bigger budget for the PlayStation 4 games and get better games. Now this just kicked off in March, so with January and February we did get PS3 and PS Vita titles, but March was the first month in the new plan where we're just getting PS4 games, so I expect a quality increase. Will we get it? We shall see, but you guys always seem to be pretty mixed about the PlayStation Plus games, and just going in month by month, really assessing it, I think that'll offer you guys a little bit of insight. But also, let me add, I do not assess PlayStation Plus as a yearly $60 subscription. God forbid you are paying month to month $10 a month. I don't know why you're doing that. We cover it all the time, but PlayStation Plus is regularly available for like $43. It was available for $43 just the other day, and that was for a 1-year subscription. So with that price, 3 months of a subscription I believe would equate out to like $10.75 or so. So just keep that in mind. You would essentially be getting all of these games for $10.75, and when you put it in layman's terms like that, that sounds like a pretty good deal. So without further ado, with all that being said, let's get right into it. First, we had January's offerings, and I would have to say that January so far was the weakest month of the year and really started off 2019 for PS Plus kind of with a downer. I wasn't as low on it as most people, but we did get Steep. That was kind of the highlight game. Of course, Ubisoft's action sports title. It's a pretty cool game. It was a game that had quite a bit of anticipation heading into its release, but I feel like a lot of gamers were a little bit disappointed by it, and commercially it didn't do all too well. There was a major expansion release for it as well, but as a PlayStation Plus game, you are not getting that expansion. We just got the base game, and the base game as a Plus offering is pretty good. Steep is also a game that is accentuated by its multiplayer experience, and I always say offering multiplayer games as Plus titles makes a lot of sense, because not only do you inherently have PlayStation Plus so you can access the multiplayer, but that means all of your friends that are Plus subscribers are just getting the game. They'll have access to the multiplayer. You can get the best experience out of the game possible, and with Steep, you definitely got that. It's a game that over the time since it's been released, I feel like it's been a little forgotten about, but as a PlayStation Plus title, reignited its interest. Did it really resonate at a mainstream level, and everybody really checked it out and enjoyed it? But it was a cool Plus game. I think Steep would have worked better if it was like a secondary Plus game to another major title, but hey, some of you guys might be thinking I'm asking a little bit too much with that. Also, January brought with it Portal Knights. Portal Knights is another multiplayer title, and it's an open world adventure sandbox title, and again, this is a game that's really accentuated by multiplayer, so to get 2 multiplayer games in any given month, I think that's a bit much. I would really like to see 1 multiplayer game and 1 single player game, and you'll see with February and March, they really nailed that. However, Portal Knights is still a really interesting game. You explore dozens of randomly generated islands, build almost anything in a world torn apart by a fracture and terrorized by the Hollow King. You and your friends are its only hope. The game has a 72 on Metacritic, so decently received. I think Portal Knights would have been a better offering and a more palatable offering had the highlight game been a little bit more notable than Steep. I mean, Steep is a good game, but it's not really a blowaway game or anything like that. January was also rounded out by a little bit of a hidden title. This was a game that was promoted as a PlayStation 3 game, but you could also get the PlayStation 4 version, and that was Amplitude. Amplitude was actually developed by Harmonix, pretty well-known studio, and it's a single-player campaign presented as a 15-song sci-fi concept album with a narrative that surfaces through the game's visuals, music, and lyrics. It's a pretty trippy game, great visual style, and this is a game that just as an additional offering, it is fantastic. Amplitude isn't the type of game that can highlight any given month, but as an accessory game, it is great because it is a different kind of experience, and it's an experience that I think would surprise a lot of people and hit home with a lot of people, so as a Plus game, it is perfect. So just on the basis that you were getting 3 games, maybe some will make the argument that January was a good month. However, I don't feel like January had that standout game. However, objectively speaking, if you do assess it month by month and you're paying, what, $3 and change for January's games, Steep, Portal Knights, and Amplitude, I would say that's pretty good. Moving on to February, that was a home run of a month. For Honor acted as your highlight title. However, the other game is a pretty notable game as well. We'll get to that in a second, but For Honor, again, a multiplayer experience, a game that's really accentuated when you're playing with all of your friends. PlayStation Plus will inherently get you access to the multiplayer. For Honor was a great offering, and with Marching Fire just coming out, yes, you don't get it as a Plus subscriber, but it was a great time to offer For Honor as a PlayStation Plus freebie. The game was losing a little bit of its luster. Yes, Marching Fire definitely did improve the game. However, that was a bigger investment, but just as a plus game, For Honor was a great title and a game that's very easy to get into, have some fun with your friends. Is it going to keep you engaged for like a year, north of a year, or something like that? Maybe to some people it will, but it's a game that a lot of people I know checked out, and I know a lot of people had a great time with it. So as far as For Honor goes, that's absolutely a thumbs up from me. Also, rounding out February, we also got Hitman the Complete First Season. That is a great game and a great complementary title to For Honor, and in the case of February, you could have even said that Hitman the Complete First Season could have acted as the headlining game, but here you get a big budget multiplayer game, you get a big budget single player game. This is a winner of a month all around, and Hitman 2016 was a great game. Unfortunately, they did release it in an episodic format, and I feel like that took away a lot of the luster from the game. It didn't do all too well commercially, and you see how it panned out with Hitman 2. I think Hitman 2016 unfortunately did some damage to the franchise, and it's not because it was a bad game, it's just the promotion, the marketing, and how they released it really hindered it. But with PlayStation Plus for February, we got the entirety of the first season, and I think a lot of people checked it out and were surprised by how good of a game it was. Maybe that inherently also promoted Hitman 2, which is great because that game seems to be fumbling a little bit as well. It's already regularly on sale for like $30. So unfortunate to see how that game turned out, but as a plus offering, Hitman the Complete First Season was a great one. So February, $3 and change if you assess it that way. You got For Honor, you got Hitman the Complete First Season. I believe For Honor, when it goes on sale, it's like $10, and Hitman the Complete First Season is at least $5. Might even be a little bit more than that in terms of PlayStation Store sales, but hey, for $3 and change, that is a big home run. And lastly, March was a standout month because, again, this was the month that started the new policy where we're just getting PlayStation 4 games. No more PlayStation 3 games, no more PlayStation Vita games. And it's unfortunate to PlayStation 4 users as well because this might get swept under the rug a little bit, but there were PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 cross-buy titles. There were PlayStation Vita and PlayStation 4 cross-buy titles. I point to Amplitude. You'll see it in January. We got 3 games that month, and a lot of the times you'll get pretty cool PlayStation Vita and PlayStation 4 cross-buy titles like an Iconoclast. That was a PlayStation Plus game before adding games to the already standard PlayStation 4 offerings. Now we are just getting 2 PlayStation 4 games, or at least that's what March showed us, but the games were very, very good for March. First of all, for your multiplayer experience, you got a very notable game in Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare Remastered, one of the most iconic first-person shooters of all time, and this is a game that when it goes on sale on the PlayStation Store, it still goes for like $30, which is obscene. Now, I should note that I've seen the Infinite Warfare Legacy Edition on sale for like $20, so nobody should be paying $30 for the digital copy of MW Remastered. However, I did just want to make that point. COD 4 is one of the most iconic games, and if you didn't check it out, which unfortunately I know in the case of this title, so many people did buy the IW Legacy Edition, so they have this game and they've played it, but if you didn't, man, this is a really good offering. Another game with great multiplayer. I know it does change some things from the original COD 4 experience, but you can still have a great time with Modern Warfare's multiplayer, and of course, this game does have a single-player campaign as well, while I'm promoting it as mostly a multiplayer experience, and that's what you kind of take COD 4. I really enjoyed COD 4's single-player campaign. I thought it set the table for the Modern Warfare trilogy really well, and while it's not lengthy, I mean, no COD single-player really is all too lengthy, you're getting a solid 5 to 6 hour campaign in there as well, and a lot of investment can be had in the multiplayer. The other game we got was another great one. It's Jonathan Blow's The Witness, and if you don't know who Jonathan Blow is, he did one of the most iconic indie games of all time in Braid. Now, is The Witness as good as Braid as a puzzle experience? I don't think so. Braid is just on another level to me, but The Witness is a phenomenal puzzle game. It tells its narrative in a very interesting way. The puzzles are so well designed, the world is gorgeous, the visuals are fantastic. I can say a lot of great things about The Witness. It's just Braid holds a special place in my heart, and honestly, assessing the games objectively, you can easily make the argument that The Witness is the better game. But let's not get into that argument right now. As a single player offering, The Witness was fantastic, and this is another game that has really held up in value, so to just get it as a PlayStation Plus game, that's great, and a game that at this point, a lot of people aren't going back and talking about The Witness. The Witness doesn't have that iconic appeal that, say, a Braid has. Braid, all these years later, that's a game that gamers still look back at and remember. The Witness really didn't resonate at that level, however, it was still an extremely high-quality game, and as a PlayStation Plus game, this is more of a complementary title to COD 4, which will be seen as that more big-budget experience. The Witness is a perfect one, so in terms of quality, while you did strip away those PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita offerings, I do see an improvement in quality with March's offerings. They definitely got to get better, and they definitely have to persist at this quality level, because if we kind of go back down to the original quality level and we're having months where we're only getting Steep and Portal Knights, that's a no-go, and I will be complaining about that, and you will be hearing about that. They need to persist with high-quality months where we're getting a For Honor and a Hitman Complete First Season, months where we're getting a COD 4 Remastered and The Witness, maybe even months better than that, but that might be me just getting a little bit too greedy. overall, again, you're getting Steep, Portal Knights, Amplitude, For Honor, Hitman the Complete First Season, COD 4 Remastered, and The Witness for $10.75 if you're smart about how you get PlayStation Plus. When you're looking at it from that vantage point, I don't think you can say that PlayStation Plus has been a flop in 2019. I wasn't big on January, but February with For Honor and Hitman the Complete First Season, COD 4 Remastered, and The Witness in March, those were standout months. And yes, while there's a totality of 7 games here, I know you guys aren't going to be interested in every single one of them, but even if you're finding interest in 1 or 2 of those games, you're essentially getting your money's worth. Now, do I agree that we have to pay to play online? No, I've always been against that, but that is the reality we're living in right now, and Sony's making an obscene amount of money off PlayStation Plus, so we gotta do what we gotta do, and at least I'll be assessing the game offerings. And of course, if you do unsubscribe from PlayStation Plus, you lose access to these games, so that's another thing. You don't really own these games, and again, hey, that's just the world we're living in. That's gonna conclude this video. Again, I have to say 2019 thus far has been a thumbs up for PlayStation Plus, but I'm interested to hear from you guys. Are you happy with 2019's offerings thus far? Are you disappointed? Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.